Hello, this is Avijit Biswas. I am from Academy of Technology. Now, for the partial fulfillment of the course, that is the data analytics using R from Skyfi Labs, I am going to submit the assignment based project, or rather, you can say project assignment. Now, the topic is data analytics using R. So it is the project assignment for Skyfi Labs online course, and it's me, that is Avijit Biswas. Now this video is made by me. I am from Academy of Technology as a part of the assignment of data analytics using R course from Skyfi Labs. Now my project is based on basically on forecasting, or rather prediction of edible oil sales in Spencer's. Now, Spencer's is basically a retail chain of retail stores headquartered in Kolkata, West Bengal, and it is present over 35 cities in India. Now, it is based on the food fast format. Now, there are many outlets. Those support multiple formats for retailing food, apparel, fashion, electronics, lifestyle products, music, and books. Now, prediction of sales is an important field in the company, and due to new technologies, it has recently gained a lot of attention in order to improve business and profit. Previously, the industry has relied on traditional models of statistics, but in recent years, more advanced machine learning methods has overcome to make the sale better. Now, this study aims to compare the sales and the profit of the different edible oil. It also aimed to predict the future demand of the edible oil. In this study, the machine learning algorithms are used, which are, say, linear regression, time series, dropping variable analysis. The methods were compared in terms of their prediction accuracy on daily sales in a food store department. The performance of the models was determined using performance measure, that is mapping, mean average percentage error, or you can say mean absolute percentage error. Now, this project is based on 19 data sets. Now, these data sets are not uploaded because of confidentiality. Now, if required on request, it can be sent. So on these 19 data sets, the entire project or the assignment is based. So let's come to the introduction. Now, machine learning is not like machine learning of the past. It was born from pattern recognition, theory that computers can learn without being programmed to specific tasks. Now, researchers interested in artificial intelligence want to see if computers could learn from data. Now, there are three core types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. The goal of supervised learning is to learn a model from labeled training data that allows us to make predictions about unseen or future data. The term supervisor refers to a set of samples where the desired output, rather we can say signals, levels, are already known. Unsupervised learning is the training of an artificial intelligence algorithm using information that is neither classified nor labeled and allowing the algorithm to act on the information without guidance. Next, we have semi-supervised learning. Then we have reinforcement learning. So these are basically the core types of machine learning. Now here, the edible oil sales price prediction analysis model aims to determine the sales of edible oil using many attributes like day, discount rate, and many other relatable factors. So what we have done, first we have gathered the sample data. Then we have tested the sample data, and finally we have predicted the price, that is prediction of the price. Now starting with the problem definition. The data is collected from Spencer's Retail, which is a chain of retail stores headquartered in Kolkata, as I have said. There are data sets of 19 different edible oils sold by Spencer's with many factors such as rate, discount rate, and also the days such as weekend or holidays, which plays an important factor in the sale of the particular edible oil. The model V2 define is in such a manner that respective model will predict the sales of the year, that is from April 2018 to April 2019, using forecasting and other methods. Now, what are the objectives of this assignment or project? To find the aggregate and merge all the 19 data sets into one, and to find out which of the entity is affecting the sale, and to predict the quantity of oils required for the whole financial year of 2018-19 and determine the factors affecting the sales. Now, what is our methodology? It's simple: data exploration, learning phase, model, and testing phase. That is the prediction phase. And finally, the feedback. So, this is a simple methodology. Now, what is a feasibility study of all edible oil sales for analyzing? It is basically daily needs for any house, and there are various varieties of edible oil available to a customer in the Spencer's supermarket. To know the sales of the prediction becomes a quite tough task as the number of product and sales increases. Also, to keep in mind various non-negligible factors which have a huge effect on the sales on 19 different data sets. Now, already I have told about the major factors: days, discount rate, MRP values, exciting offer by the respective shop. Let us consider the case when the weekends come in. Thus, more customer will consume more edible oil for the weekends. Also, if there is a festive season, this is also the fact that the sales of the edible oil increases. Another rise in the sales of the edible oil can be witnessed when the discount is more. Now, data mining is used nowadays to achieve the task successfully and with ease. Now, as I have said, there are a number of factors which affects the sales of edible oil. So, these are the factors: weekend or holidays, MRP value, discount rate, festive season. Now, let us go with the flow chart diagram so that we can understand what we have done. First, we have to define the objective. Then we have to prepare the data, collecting the data, select the algorithm, train the model, test the model, that is the workflow model, and predict the model. So this is the very simple flowchart diagram. Now there are many more complex flowchart diagram. It depends on how you will work on the machine learning models or different algorithms. Now, hardware and software used, it is just general, everybody knows. So these are the used. I have used the R and R Studio. Now, the techniques of supervised machine learning algorithms include linear and logistic regression, decision trees, and SVM, that is the support vector machines. Now, supervised learning requires that data used to train the algorithms is already labeled with correct answers. Supervised learning problems can further be classified into regression and classification problems. Now, both of them have a goal, that is the construction of a scientific model that can predict the value of dependent attribute from the attribute variables. The difference between the two tasks is that fact that the dependent attribute is numerical for regression and categorical for classification. So here we have first used the regression. Example, you can say linear regression, logistic regression, and SVR, GPR, whatever. So it's a very simple thing which we have used. Then we have used the classification. Say output variable is a category such as red, blue, and classification model attempts to draw some conclusion from observed values. Classification model includes logistic regression, support vector machine, and name base. Now here I have not given any codes, that is R codes till now. All the codes are available after the entire discussion what we have done in the assignment. The codes are available there. So obviously we will come with the codes also, what codes we have used. Now here we have used simple linear regression, dropping variable analysis, and time series. Now we know that simple linear regression is basically or commonly used for predictive analysis. The simple formula for linear regression is y equals to a plus bx. It's just like a straight line equation, y equals to mx plus c. Now a and b are given by the following formula. Here a is the intercept, b is the slope. So b can be written in this form, a can be written in this form. So these are a and b which have the following formulas. Now x and y are two variables on regression line, as we know. B is the slope of that line, a is the y-intercept of the line, x is the values of the first data, y is the values of the second data. Now what are the advantages? Linear regression is simple method, extremely simple. It is very easy and intuitive to use and understand. Only high school mathematics, those who have fundamental concepts, can understand. And it works in most of the cases also. Now, even when it doesn't fit the data exactly, we can use it to find the nature of the relationship between the two variables. Now, there are certain disadvantages. Now, by its definition, linear regression only models relationships between dependent and independent variables that are linear. It assumes that there is a straight line relationship between them, which is incorrect sometimes. Linear regression is very sensitive to the anomalies in the data or outliers. Take for example, more of your data lies in the range 0 to 10. If due to any reason only one of the data items comes out of the range, say for example 15, this is basically influencing the regression coefficients. Another disadvantage is that if we have a number of parameters, then the number of samples available, then the model starts to model the noise rather than the relationship between the variables. So here you can see I have given a linear regression graph. It's a simple linear regression graph. Here we have different data points. Based on that, I have given the linear regression graph. Now multiple linear regression model with say k predictor variables is say x1, x2 up to xk variable, and a response variable is y. So it can be written in the form equals to y equals to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 up to say beta k xk, and so on. As before, there are the residual terms of the model and the distribution assumption we place on the residuals will allow us later to do interference on the remaining model parameters. We have to interpret the meaning of regression coefficients, that is beta 0, beta 1, beta 2 up to beta k in this model. More complex models may include higher powers on one or more predictor variables. So here we have given this. So here you see observations, confidence intervals for the regression lines, fitted regression line, and this is the prediction intervals. So here in this graph we can understand. It's a simple graph, nothing very complex in the multiple linear regression. Now what are the advantages? It has the ability to determine the relative influence of one or more predictor variables to the criteria value. The ability to identify outliers or anomalies. Now what are the disadvantages? Now using a multiple linear regression model usually comes down to the data being used. This is the fundamental concept of the disadvantage. Now next we come with the model performance. Once we build the model, the logical question comes is to know whether your model is good or not. To predict in future or the relationship which you have built between dependent and independent variables is good enough or not. So for this purpose we will use the R square. So here you can understand R square is equals to total sum of square minus residual sum of squares divided by total sum of squares. So this thing we will use, and it ranges from 0 to 1. Now 0 means that the dependent variable cannot be predicted from the independent variable. Dependent variable cannot be predicted from the independent variable. This 0 means. 1 means dependent variable can be predicted without error from the independent variable. Now 0 and 1 in between, if R square is there, it indicates the extent to which the dependent variable is predictable. Say R square is 0.20, that means 20% of the variance in Y is predictable from X, and R square 0.40 means 40% is predictable, and so on. Next we have a concept, root mean square error. It tells about the measure of dispersion of the predicted values from the actual values. The formula for calculating RMSE is given below. So this is the formula, it is given below here. N is the total number of observations. Now it is a good measure of errors, but the issue with it that it is susceptible to the range of your dependable variable. If your dependable variable has a thin range, your RMSE will be low, and dependent variable has a wide range, RMSE will be high. Hence, RMSE is a good metric to compare between different iterations of a model. Next, mean absolute percentage error, MAPE. To overcome the limitation of RMSE, analysts prefer MAP over RMSE, which gives error in terms of percentages and hence comparable across models. Formula for calculating MAPE can be written as this: Y actual minus Y predicted divided by N. Here it is whole square. So N is the total number of observations. In this project we are using MAPE for calculating the accuracy of the model. Now we will deal with the time series. It is an important area of machine learning that is often neglected. It is important because there are so many prediction problems that involve a time component. It involves developing models that best capture or describe and observe time series in order to understand the underlying cause. Thus, the field of study seeks the why behind a time series dataset. Making predictions about the future is called extrapolation in the classical statistical handling of time series data. More modern fields focus on the topic and refer to it as time series forecasting. Forecasting involves taking models fit on historical data and using them to predict future observations. The decomposition of time series into 4 constituent parts: level, trend, seasonality, and noise. So it's written level, trend, seasonality, and noise. Now, our project flow model: loading the dataset, then summarizing the dataset, then visualizing the dataset, dropping irrelevant attribute, evaluating algorithm, then making some prediction, comparing the models, and choosing the efficient model. So this is the machine learning in our step by step. So first of all, we have load all the 19 data sets of different edible oil from the local file system to our studio through the read.csv function, which contain the different edible oil cells and all those things. Now, the data frame has 1 to 49 rows and 5 columns of sales attribute. The data frame contains calendar date, total sales quantity, MRP value, discount rupees, discount trend. Now there are 19 data sets of different edible oil. So in this process have to be aggregated to make a new data set which contains all the information which the previous data set were having. Aggregating should be done for all the attributes. So for total sales quantity of different data set, we have to sum up per day according to calendar day. For the MRP value, the sales of each day should get sum up with all the oil, same with the discount rupees offered. For the discount rate, the average of discount for particular day is taken out. Now this is the data visualization which we have got from R. Say here you can see total sales quantity, MRP value, discount rupees, discount rate, total sales. So here you are getting the data visualization. This is basically the correlation plot. Here this plot shows the positive and negative correlation between the variables of given data set. The blue color with high intensity shows the positive correlation, and the red color with high intensity shows the negative correlation. In our data set, the plot shows that the total sales is correlated or dependent on the price of the oil and the discount offered on the product and the discount rate. So here you can see. Now this is between quantities sold on specific date. This is basically line plot. Sales of edible oil with respect to number of days. Here it is showing the highest peaks and the lowest peak for sales of the edible oil with respect to the number of days. Now this is the plot between quantities sold per week. So this is a box plot which is basically a part of data visualization. So this is the box plot. Here you can see relation between quantity and the sales on weekdays. There is a significant increase in the sales on Monday and Tuesday respectively, and the lowest sale is observed on Thursday. A worst increase of sales has been observed on Saturday itself. Now this is the plot between quantity sold and discount offered. This is a scatter plot. So here we see that relation between the sales quantity and the discount offer. There is a direct relation in between sales quantity and the discount rupees, as it can be observed that whenever there is an increase in the discount offer, the sales quantity of the edible oil increase dramatically and vice versa. Now plot between discount offered in different months. So this you can see different months. There is a direct relationship between the sales quantity and the discount rupees. So here discount offered in different months. So it depicts the relationship between average sales quantity and the month, as there are many factors to be kept in mind which affect the sales of the edible oil, like the festive season, holidays. So from the above graph shows trends based on above factors. And there is a drastic increase in sales which can be observed in time period from March to May 2011. Now this is the smooth line GG plot between discount rupees and sales quantity. It will be, sorry, it is 2018 and this is 2019. So these are the GG plot. Above deviation is very less, hence the MRP value has strong relation with sales quantity. So data preparation, summary of data. These are the summary of data which we have created. Obviously we have used the R. Summary of data, calendar day, total sales quantity, MRP value, discount rupees, discount rate. Next comes the dropping variable analysis. This phenomena exists when the independent variables are found to be moderately or highly correlated. It becomes tough task to figure out the true relationship of a predictors with response variable. In other words, it becomes difficult to find out which variable is actually contributing to predict the response variable. So how to check? The summary of the model of multiple linear regression gives the interdependency of the variable contributing to the dependent variable. The summary will give the p-value. If the p-value of a variable is greater than 0.05, then that variable should be eliminated. The variable have to drop, and again the multiple regression should be applied for the remaining variable. And see if the p-value is okay, then the variable will remain in the model prediction. So, with the help of multiple regression, the model is built and model described the p-value of different variables. While checking for the first time, p-value of the discount rate is greater than, so discount rate variable should get dropped. After dropping the discount rate again, the model should be checked again, discarding the variable discount rate. After the model is checked again, none of the variables has p-value greater than 0.05, so no variable will be dropped. So here you can see. Now, training and testing data for validation. Before evaluating the model, the data set should be split in training data set and testing data set. Training set is subset to train a model. Test set is subset to test the trained model. So here we have taken 80% as training data set and 20% as testing data set. Now splitting the data into training 70% and testing 30% of data. Now percentage of sales data or not must be same in training and testing, which is handled by the R library used here. Now evaluating data set with regression model is dependent variable, which is to be predicted from total sales, which is to be predicted according to 3 independent variable, that is calendar day, etc. The problem is of regression, so the result should be in positive numerical value. Now this is the model. A regression coefficient is the same thing as the slope of the line of the regression equation. Now this thing we have already discussed. Now the prediction. After training the model with training data set, the prediction phase comes where the prediction of testing data set is done. This is very crucial phase of machine learning, and this will give the required result. For testing data set, 20% of data is taken from the original data set on which the prediction is done and output is obtained for the total sales quantity. Now comes the efficiency. Now the mean absolute percentage error of this regression on the edible oil data set is 0.477. For evaluating the data set with multiple regression, 4 variables are used, out of which one is the target variable, and there is an independent variable which are total sales, quantity, calendar day, MRP, value, discount rupees, etc. respectively. Now I have written the drawback of using multiple regression on edible oil data set also. So to create time series, we have to rather import your data into R, use TS function. This is the starting of the process. A numeric vector of the class numeric or integer. Now make them stationary. Time series must be stationary. Now to test whether time series is stationary or not, we have to use ADF test, and the p-value must be less than 0.05 in the ADF test. So for ADF test, we can do ADF.test, TS data, p-value less than 0.05 indicates that TS is stationary. To make a time series stationary, you have to go for differencing. That is, each data point you have to subtract each data point in the series from its successor. It is commonly used to make a time series stationary. For most time series pattern, one or two differencing is necessary to make it stationary series. So here I have done ultimately the result. Intercept is 1449.448. Coefficient is this. X is 365 days. So for predicting the sales value, we use y equals to mx plus c. In a loop where x changes each times, the sale of the year 2 is stored in the sales, that is CSV file. Drop the variable discount rate. Now finally the program code. First import the packages, library. These are the library you have to import. Now I have imported total 7 library. Now you have to import the data set of all the blend oil, coconut oil. So I have already imported by read.csv. So these are the read.csv. Now I have gone through all the blending oil, that is the 19 data sets. Now total sales quantity of all 19 data sets, what I have done, I have merged total quantity, I have merged, then MRP value I have merged, total discount value I have merged. Now total discount rate I have given here this way. So modified data set, I have used the cbind function, and I have rather written that write.csv in the modified data set, that is the sales data.csv. Then again I have read the or imported the sales data.csv after writing. Then summary of the new data. So to correlation plot between new data, that is this one. So after that, new data set calendar days, I have used this. Now I have used plotting between sales and number of days. Then whatever we have got previously, that is box plot, I have used this box plot, all the box plot. Then time series, this is the time series, plot time series plot. Now from ggplot map2, I will ggplot. So I have used the method which is already there in the tutorial. Now checking for first dropping variables, linear model LM, then summary, checking the second dropping variable, then summary. No variable here is when we will already given the results, there is no variable which has greater than 0.05. Now creating testing and training data set. So this way I have created the training data set and testing data set. Now making the multiple regression model. And finally taking intercept value and coefficient as this and generating the predicted sales quantity for the year 2018, for example. So this is the code. To print the data set, you can use this. and for the multiple regression model accuracy and MAPE. And finally, to create the time series. After that, Dickey-Fuller test, then ACF test, that is autocorrelation. So these are all the codes which I have used. Now what is the feature scope? It can be enabled the prediction of sales quantity over the time period and thus boost the company's inventory based accounts. With further improvement and added sophistication, it can predict almost actual quantity. Inventory will be required for a particular day so that the store have to buy only a specific amount, which will reduce the problems of restocking the inventory and also minimize discarding the product due to various reasons like expired product, damaged goods, etc. It can be used in several stores of the company to predict the data. The scope is so wide that it engulfs other companies of same sector. Limitation: the value of variables, that is discount, MRP, should always be known for making the prediction more accurate. So this is my project. So this is the summary. So thank you from my end, and I have used this Analytics Vidya, Kaggle, ArtBlogger, DataCamp, Quicker, many more. Thanks once again.